What draws me into Yellowstone in a way that I celebrate it as well as radically enjoy it is what it's doing to treat the concept of masculinity. The show is such a celebration of manhood and masculinity in the way that not only is it looking at a real cowboy, but it's also dealing with all kinds of themes of what it means to be a man who fights for and protects and stands for the principles that he believes in. And in some ways, this show probably doesn't appeal to the coastal elites, especially when we're celebrating masculinity amongst a whole culture that wants to say that that's just entirely toxic. Now, certainly in this show, there are degrees of masculinity when we see people being branded. we definitely see murder and conspiracy take place that, even the actors themselves aren't trying to advocate for. But there's also a very deep getting back to our roots, being grounded in the land, as men, getting our hands dirty. Even the actors have talked a lot about how Taylor Sheridan himself really takes them on these training camps, these boot camps, and learning how to ride horses, learning how they'll go on camping trips and they're just learning how to cook their food and eat their food. I think the first time they ever did it, Luke Grimes actually talked about how they did some mule venture, and that was that didn't go very well. Not many of us would have made it back. But in the future, they continue to learn how to ride. They continue to learn how to really explore the authenticity that goes into ranching, which Taylor Sheridan, as the writer and director of the show, this is his life. This is very personal. This is actually something that he presently does. He actually even bought into the 4 Sixes Ranch, and he, in the beginning of the show, I believe was the only one that actually was training the different people how to ride, and then eventually they got more to be able to teach them actually how to ride the horses. So there's a level of themes when you see even between Kevin Costner's character, John Dutton, and his own grandson, and his grandson learning to appreciate just these really spectacular moments. There's, I think it was even in the premiere episode where they're all fishing in the river, and then there's the boat of the tourist fishers that go by, and they can't catch anything. But meanwhile, these guys are just doing it on their horses, and they're just jumping into the water and doing it, and they're catching spectacular fish doing what they're doing. And there's this visit of what it really means to be a cowboy and what it really means to be a man.